My name is Evelyn Harper, and this is the story of how a simple cleaning job turned into the worst nightmare of my life. It all started when my husband, Jerome, and I moved into our dream home in Savannah, Georgia, a grand old Victorian on East Jones Street, built back in 1873. The house had high ceilings, creaking wooden floors, a wraparound porch draped in Spanish moss, and an attic that smelled like forgotten secrets. Jerome, who's always been the quiet type, spent his days in his study, writing in those leather-bound notebooks of his. He called it his memoir, but I never pried. Retirement was supposed to be peaceful, just the two of us in that beautiful, historic house. But the place was massive, and with my bad knees from years as a nurse, keeping it clean was nearly impossible. That's when I hired Brianna, a 21-year-old art student at SCAD. She was bubbly, full of life, always wearing paint-splattered jeans and humming old gospel tunes like Wade in the Water. She needed extra cash for art supplies, and I needed help dusting endless shelves and polishing antique furniture. She came every Tuesday at noon, and for the first couple of weeks everything was fine. She'd chatter about her classes, her boyfriend, her dream of becoming a painter. Jerome barely noticed her. He'd just nod from his study and go back to his writing. Then, on her third Tuesday, things changed. I was out running errands when I got a text from her. "Mrs. Harper, something weird just happened." A plate fell off the shelf by itself. I swear I didn't touch it. I laughed it off. Old houses make noises, things shift and settle, right? But when I got home, Brianna looked pale and shaken. "It's nothing," she said, but her hands were trembling. That night, as Jerome and I were eating dinner, I heard it for the first time, soft footsteps overhead, like someone pacing in the attic. I checked the clock. It was exactly 3:33 a.m. Jerome mumbled, "Wind in the pipes," and rolled over. The next week, Brianna showed up anyway. She said she couldn't afford to quit. She had set up her phone on a little tripod to record herself cleaning something, about making time-lapse videos for her portfolio. Cool, right? It shows the before and after. She grinned. I went out to the garden while she worked. Around 2 p.m., I got another text. "The plate is back. Whole on the same shelf." I took a picture. I rushed inside. There it was, the delicate porcelain plate, perfectly intact, right where the broken one had been. Brianna swore she hadn't replaced it. "This house is creepy, Mrs. H," I keep hearing whispers. That evening, Jerome came into the kitchen holding the same plate. His face was tight. "Where'd this come from?" he asked. Before I could answer, he dropped it. "It shattered into pieces. See? Just a plate. Stop imagining things," he snapped, but his eyes darted toward the stairs. As I swept up the shards, I noticed one piece had a strange scratch on it like fingernail marks. That night, Brianna texted again. "I'm scared to come back, but I forgot my good brushes. Can I swing by tomorrow at dusk?" I told her yes. Jerome was out at his book club, so I was alone when she came. I let her in and went to the living room to read. She went upstairs to grab her things from the guest room, where she kept some supplies. 10 minutes later, my phone rang. It was her, whispering frantically, "Mrs. Harper, there's someone up here." "In the attic?" I heard the door creak open. "She's wearing a white dress, just standing there watching me." I ran upstairs, calling her name, but the hallway was empty. Her phone was on the floor, still recording. That night, I played the video. It started normally, Brianna humming as she dusted the banister, zooming in on cobwebs. Then a shadow crossed the lens. She turned. "Hello?" The camera shook as she climbed the attic stairs. The door was ajar, which was impossible. I always kept it locked. Inside, dust motes floated in the dim light from a small window. She panned the camera around. Old trunks, a rocking horse, yellowed newspapers from the 1950s. Then a whisper clear as day. "Leave." Brianna froze. "Who's there?" The camera turned to a corner, and there she was, a woman in a flowing white dress, long dark hair hiding her face. She didn't move, just stared. Brianna backed up. "Oh God, oh God." The woman slowly lifted her head. Brianna screamed. The phone dropped. The screen went black, but the audio kept running footsteps. A door slamming, then silence. I called the police immediately. They searched the entire house. No sign of Brianna. No forced entry. "Probably a prank," one officer said. "Kids these days with their TikToks." But Brianna's car was still in the driveway. Her keys were inside. Jerome came home late, smelling of whiskey. "What's all this?" he asked. I showed him the video. He watched quietly, then said, "Delete it. She's playing games for attention." I couldn't sleep that night. At 3:33 a.m., the footsteps returned, heavier this time. I grabbed a flashlight and crept upstairs. The attic door was open. Inside, the air was freezing. On the floor lay Brianna's paint-splattered scarf. Under a loose floorboard, I found a leather notebook, edges worn, dated 1953. The handwriting was childish at first, then more mature. The entries read, "Mommy screams at night. Daddy says lock the door. She walks in white. 3:33. Don't let her see you. JW!" Jerome's initials. His childhood handwriting. The next morning I confronted him. "What is this?" He flipped through the notebook, his face draining of color. "Where did you get that?" "The attic," I said, "along with whispers and a missing girl." He slammed it shut. "My mother, Margaret. She was ill, hallucinations. My father traveled for work. When I was 5, she got bad, locked herself up there. One day she stopped screaming. I found her hanging. I was scared. Told the neighbors she ran away. Dad helped brick up the room. It was the 50s, no one asked questions. I didn't believe him at first. But later that day, I called a local historian I'd met at the library. She came over and froze when I told her the address. "That house?" she said. "It was owned by Dr. Malcolm Whitaker in the 50s. His wife, Margaret, vanished. Rumors of abuse, mental illness. The son, Jerome, was sent to live with relatives. The body was never found." She showed me old newspaper clippings, a photo of Margaret in a white dress, smiling at a garden party. The same woman from Brianna's video. That night, Jerome broke down. I was just a kid. I locked the attic to keep her quiet. She banged for days. Then nothing. Dad said, "Bury it." We sealed her in the wall. I swore I'd never tell. "But why the plate?" I asked. "It was her favorite. From her wedding china. It always moved. Like she was trying to remind me." Days later, police returned after I showed them the notebook. With dogs and tools, they tore into the attic walls. Behind a false panel, they found a small sealed room, a narrow bed, chains on the wrists of a skeleton in a tattered white dress. Margaret. Cause of death, starvation. Jerome was arrested, concealment of a death, among other charges. But Brianna was still missing. Her parents came, sobbing. She was so happy about this job. Her mother said. She said the house inspired her art. I gave them her brushes, her scarf. Then I found one more video, automatically uploaded to her cloud at 11:47 p.m. the night she vanished. It showed Brianna and a friend, Tasha, in the attic with a flashlight. We heard crying like a baby. Brianna whispered, "This is stupid, B." Tasha said, "They set up an EVP recorder. Is anyone here?" Static. Then a faint child's voice. "Mommy's hungry." Brianna, "Who locked you in?" Response, "The boy." He was scared. Tasha screamed. The camera swung wildly. A pale hand grabbed the lens' long fingers. Bruised. "Run!" Brianna cried. Footsteps thundered. The front door slammed, whispering, "Join us, company." Then Brianna's voice, terrified. "She's not a ghost. She's real. And there's another one, a girl. Like me." The video ended with the camera on the floor, pointed at the attic stairs. A white dress descended slowly. Bare feet. Then Brianna's face appeared, eyes wide, mouth gagged with cloth. She mouthed one word. "Help." Blackout. When police enhanced the footage, they found something else, another figure in the background. A younger woman, in modern clothes. Paint on her hands. Brianna's reflection. But not her. 2 weeks later, Jerome died in jail heart attack, they said. His final visitor note read, "Tell Evelyn the plate was a warning. Margaret forgives me. But not her." I sold the house soon after. Moved into a small condo downtown, no stairs, no attic, no history. But the nightmares followed. Every night at 3:33 a.m. my alarm clock flickers. I hear humming. And sometimes in the mirror I catch a flash of white, or paint-splattered jeans. Brianna's body was never found. During the estate sale, the new owners discovered her SCAD ID inside an old trunk in the attic, scratched up like claws. On the back, in fresh ink, someone had written, "She's with us now." The woman upstairs needed a friend. Your turn soon.